This region, I would love to come many times. It is bountifully gifted by nature. Tribal culture, soothing people, their connectivity, crystal lakes, and they mirror what? Himalayan peaks, to ancient monasteries, hemming with timeless chants. And I would say this place is a paradise for tourists. The entire Northeast offers something which is not available on the planet. And the impact is being felt. Only last year, 1.19 crore tourists feasted themselves with the pristine beauty of this region, as also its rich culture. Honorable members, Northeast is streaming fast into national life. And this is with respect to development I am referring to. Now with 17 airports, 20 waterways, and deep digital penetration, I have seen it here with the Honorable Speaker conducting the proceedings. The region is developing with pace. The region's organic and natural farming offer a model for other states. Indigenous resources like bamboo, rubber, and what kind of a silk? I felt one when I went to the university. These are areas that offer enormous market opportunities. It is here I am reminded of what the Honorable Prime Minister said. Be vocal for local. One district, one product. And this honorable members has a great impact at the national level with our economy. Just imagine how much foreign exchange is lost when we import items that are avoidable. We import items that are made in this country, from carpets to furniture, to electronics, to toys, and even kites, even diyas, even candles. If we take to Swadeshi, we will be doing 3 good services to the nation. 1, employment opportunities for our people will be generated. Draining of our foreign exchange will be curtailed, and entrepreneurship will blossom. Friends, India is the largest functional democracy on the planet. Democracy matters to all of us. And therefore, I need to remind you that 2 important steps have been taken in last decade. One step was celebration of Constitution Day on 26th November, because it was in 1949 the adoption of the Constitution took place. This to remind our people and ourselves that we undertook on that day with a preamble that there will be justice, equality, fraternity for all. We need to fructify it on the ground. Constitution Day celebration will be a reminder to us that how precious Constitution is. In recent times we have seen 2 important aspects emanating. 1, equality before law. It was there in the Constitution. It was not a ground reality. Some people have taken to themselves, arrogated themselves to a level that we are beyond the reach of law. They forgot how high you may be. The law is always above you. But now everyone is being held accountable to law. Everyone is equal before law. Those who thought they are immune to law are getting the heat of it. I quite often say, privileged pedigree is antithetical to fair play, to equity, to merit, and fundamentally, it militates against equality. And that has now made exit. Thanks to our transformative technology, that there is now in governance transparency and accountability. Corruption has been neutralized, and neutralized by technology. Because now transfer of money takes place digitally, directly. There is no human interface in between. Nobody is required to leverage that you get a benefit. That's a big change that has come place, that has taken roots in our country. The other day, which we celebrate, is a day that's more critical, that reminds us, the reminder is horrific. Emergency was imposed in this country. For 21 months, people who loved the nation, who loved democracy, who breathed nationalism, and many of them were freedom fighters, were put behind jail. No access to justice, no freedom rights for them. High courts came up to the occasion, 9 in number, that emergency cannot put on hold fundamental rights of the people. The highest court of the land, the Supreme Court, caved in. It held otherwise. It was a litmus test for Supreme Court. It's a failure, it will never be able to come out of it. And we suffered emergency. The present generation, I see you on the right in the gallery, is not aware of it. How tough it was when newspapers went without editorial, when censorship was complete, where you could not breathe freedom. And therefore, June 25 has been declared to be remembered as Constitution Hatya Divas. I'm sure members of the Assembly will take note of it. And the celebration of these two events has to be with education being spread. It is only with the knowledge of what happened in the past that we can be in cautionary mode. Friends, our guiding principle has to emanate from the preamble of the Indian Constitution. That's a great unifying force. It helps the largest democracy take the boldest of decisions. And last 10 years we have seen exponential economic upsurge, phenomenal infrastructure growth, accolades coming to this country from world institutions, IMF, World Bank, World Economic Forum. Our growth rate makes us proud, because no country comes close to us. But then I need to share with you, it's fine that India is the 5th largest global economy. It's an accomplishment. We are the 3rd largest purchasing power. But our objective is to be a developed nation. And to be a developed nation, we have challenges. And those challenges are, income of our people has to go 8-fold. That eightfold increase will take place when there is massive contribution by one and all. I am certain that we will have Viksit Bharat, and why not? India as a nation was at peak of the world for several centuries, having global economy share of 1/3 or 1/4. We were Vishwaguru with institutions like Nalanda and Takshila, Mithila, many institutions. So it is legitimate for us to expect. But when I got into parliament 35 years ago, it was a despondent situation, alarmingly worrisome. A visit to Kashmir, we could see not more than 24 people on the streets. And last year, more than 2 crore people visited Kashmir as tourists. Our foreign exchange, 1 billion, now it's 650 billion. As a member of parliament, I took great pride. I had 50 gas connections in a year to give to anyone. Imagine where we have come. Government is giving millions gas connections free to needy women. So right now, Bharat is on the rise. It has facilitated an ecosystem for our youth. They have opportunities. And therefore, this theatre is more important. This theatre is ultimate in legislation, but this theatre is ultimate also in holding the government accountable. It is a place where you question the government that your performance has to be of a particular level. It's a place where you appreciate the government for doing something good. And therefore, please look to your role. I have expressed my deep pain. Entering into the 4th quarter of adoption of the Indian Constitution, we could not work for a single moment in Rajya Sabha. My head is in shame. We cannot afford this kind of a spectacle in a country that is mother of democracy, the largest democracy. How we can sacrilege democracy? How can we go against the spirit of the Constitution? How can we afford to walk out of our obligations? I am happy to know your assembly is otherwise. It's a shining example, a beacon of hope. I carry a very sound, worthwhile message from this place. Because we cannot have a position, irretrievable, confrontational stance. We don't have enemies in the country. We have differences. Our political parties have to understand that ultimately interest of all converges in nation prospering, in nationalism blossoming. We cannot under any situation keep any interest above our national interest. Nation is first. Unity of the nation is first. And that is why I have seen myself 3 years as governor and now as vice president. The focus on Northeast is transformative. It is engaging attention of the Prime Minister and everyone. And every time I come to this part of the country or go deep into South, we get a different kind of accord. We are one. We don't have to be one because we know each other's language. We are one because we belong to this great nation. Honorable members, 2047 is no longer a dream. is no longer wishful thinking. It is our target. We shall attain it if not before, but it needs everybody's wholehearted cooperation. Let us imbibe our civilizational spirit. Let us make our country that exemplifies highest of citizen discipline, citizen commitment. Let me make reference to what Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel said. He is known as a man who united the nation. He didn't have much time. If you go to Statue of Unity, you will know it. But whatever little time he had at his disposal after independence, he remarkably did that good job. And what is, he said, I quote, by common endeavor, we can raise the country to a new greatness. Then he cautions, I quote again, while a lack of unity will expose us to fresh calamities. Unquote. Very sound words, very sage advice. Honorable members, let us keep this always in our mind. Distinguished members, I extend my best wishes to the people of Arunachal Pradesh, members of this assembly, and I am sure the state will reach new heights under the dynamic leadership. Let us resolve to work together, upholding democracy, nurturing nationalism, ever inspired to serve our people with dedication so that we have a sustainable, inclusive India on the global horizon as number one. I am grateful for the opportunity afforded to me. I reiterate my invitation on the Statehood Day, and now will receive your attention. Thank you so much.